saying to myself, why would God ever use a shepherd? Why would God ever use me? Shalom. That means peace in Hebrew. My name is Ibar. My name Ibar in Hebrew means chosen. Chosen for what? I do not know. But I was there 30 years ago. And it was a night that I will never forget. I'm a 43-year-old shepherd. But when I was 13, my brothers used to tease me, saying, Ivar, you are not yet a man. You can't go with us and Papa to go and be in the fields with the sheep. And as a young child, I wanted to so badly. And then, when I turned 13, I became a man. And no longer could my brothers tease me. And that was the year, 30 years ago, when I went. And I had a night that I would never forget. We are from Bethlehem. And Bethlehem is a small little city south of Jerusalem. And between Bethlehem, where we live, and Jerusalem, there's a little hill. A hill that my father and grandfather and great-grandfather would gather sheep to night after night. And on that hill, I can see our little town of Bethlehem. But I also can see Jerusalem. It's a city on a hill. You can't miss it. And as you're looking up to Jerusalem from our hill, I could see the Temple Mount. At night, it's alive with all the fires that burn there. And it seems so close for us. You could almost touch it. We long to be there because that's where we would meet God. But we weren't there very often. It seemed very close here, but it was very far away. You see, shepherds don't have the greatest reputation. Some people think that we lie and steal, we lie and cheat and we steal and other things. That's Hebrew. And and what happened is that some of us do, but not all of us. And because we couldn't go to the temple, because we deal with animals day and night, some of them die, and we don't take too many showers out here. Because of that, we didn't get to go to the festivals very often. So it seems so far away. That hill is where my father and grandfather for years would gather, and we would gather together and bring our sheep together. Our sheep can huddle together because at night is when they're most vulnerable. And so a good shepherd keeps his watch overnight for the animals that may come. And we would stay together around a campfire and warm our hands and take care of our sheep. In the morning, we would rise up and begin to speak. And it's an amazing thing, our sheep know who we are, and they just begin to follow the voice they know. But that night, as we were on that hill, we were sitting around a campfire. Something you need to know about shepherds are that they are very good at watching sheep and taking care of sheep at night. But we are even better storytellers around the campfire. As we sat around the campfire, we would tell a story night after night of the great shepherd heroes. Moses, who when he was out, met God surprisingly in a bush. And also, my relative, King David, who was a shepherd boy, not like I was, singing songs to God, maybe on this same hill that's between our two towns. And we would think of them. Our hearts would surge and be so full of pride. But people do not usually see us that way. Shepherds have pride for who they are. Did you know that even God said that he was a shepherd? We, on this hill, gathered night after night, telling these stories. And then, it was a night, just like all the other nights, where we gathered around And as we were telling stories, it was pitch black in the air. It was dark black, but we could see the stars, and it was a calming, peaceful night. And then, out of nowhere, a presence that we did not even understand came upon us. And we hit the ground immediately. I couldn't even look at it. We dare not look. And as the almost sense of like the sun itself shone right in front of us, and we were afraid. I've never been more afraid in my life. I couldn't even breathe, but my heart was pounding out of my chest. And we stood there. We laid there. And as we were blinding our eyes from this sun-like presence, it began to speak to us. It was an angel. And the angel said the first words, "Do not be afraid." Do not be afraid? I wondered to myself, do not be afraid? If you didn't want me afraid, why did you show up like that? But as we were there, afraid, he began to tell us words that began to bring us a strange hope. He said, today, in the town of David, in Bethlehem, that's my town, there's going to be a baby that's born. And this baby will be the Savior, Messiah Christ, the Lord. We did not know what to do with that as we were thinking about what this might mean for us. And then, just as we were beginning to gain our breath, 1,000 more angels showed up, and they began to say these words, "Glory to God in the highest, and on earth, peace to humanity." Peace. Peace. Upon the ones in whom his favor rests. And as we were there, almost electric with life, in the same way they came, they were gone. As we began to wonder what this was, we all began to stand up again, and we looked at each other not knowing what to do. And then my father remembered what the angel also had said. This baby will have a sign. It will be lying, wrapped in cloth, but lying in a feeding trough. That's an odd sign. And so my father said to us, "Let us go." So we left and ran down to the city. It was actually down to our little town of Bethlehem. And as we went down, and I was ahead because I was faster, they were more men than me, but my brothers have a bigger belly, and that's what men mean. So I'm a younger man, but I don't have as big of a belly. And I ran down, and I came to the village. And the first house, my friend, I went in and asked, and there was no one there because they had their sheep with them in the house, beside the house. But the next house I went to, I came up, and as I came in, I saw a woman and a man, and that little baby was lying there. As I came to them, my heart was running, and I began to say to them, wondering, would anyone ever believe me? I'm a shepherd. Why would God ever use me? But as I spoke, and I told them about the angels that showed up, and what they told us, they looked at each other, and they began to listen to us as if they really believed me. Most people, when I speak of angels, think I'm crazy, but they knew what I was talking about. As I began to talk with them more and more, my brothers and my father came, and as we were there, we began to tell them more and more about what happened. And as we were saying these things, the peace and the great joy that was coming up that they spoke to us about, we couldn't help not to tell our neighbors. And so we began to go knocking on doors, trying to bring our friends to just come and see what we've heard and what we're telling you. And they thought we were crazy. But a few came. But by the morning, when they realized it was true, the whole town surrounded this little baby and this mother and this father, and we didn't even know their name yet. think her name was Miriam. I remember talking with her, and we would see them from time to time. They lived with us for almost 2 years. They had some amazing visitors. They had amazing visitors from other places that came, and we didn't know where they were coming from, and they would offer them gifts, and it was amazing. But one night, in the middle of the night, with no warning, they were gone. Now, my cousin Nathan, he knows the village news. He was out that night, and he saw them leaving Bethlehem, going south toward Egypt, the road to Egypt. He said that. I thought, that's crazy. They're from Nazareth. They're to go north, but he promised that they went south toward Egypt. I thought that was so odd. And then, a few weeks later, we had other visitors. They were soldiers. They were Herod's soldiers. As Herod came, he had heard somehow there was this king that was born. And he declared that everyone, all those soldiers, were to go and kill all the young boys. And my brother had a son, my nephew named Elib. And I was away, but I heard that the soldiers came into the house, and they ripped the lead from my sister-in-law's arms, and they killed my nephew. And I kept wondering, I thought this baby was going to bring peace, but there's murder. And I believe the angels, but the world is a very horrible place. I think of that story often. I think of that story of peace. And I believe what the angels say. But we long for God to bring it about. We know it's not there yet. And even as I run and tell this story to my friends and other people that will listen, even you as a shepherd, I wonder deep down, even as I say these words to you, I wonder, will anyone ever believe me? Why will God choose me to speak of this story of peace? I wonder even now, do you believe me? You know, it's interesting. My cousin, Nathan, the one that knows the village news, he was in Jerusalem selling some of his sheep just last week. And he said that as he was there was this man. This man that was healing the blind and the lame. He was speaking in the temple, and he actually turned the tables over the money collectors. He spoke like one of the prophets of old. And I wonder myself, whatever happened to that? What about that baby? That baby that was the promise of peace. I still wonder. Maybe we'll see what happens. Shalom.